you go, the females, they gonna try you, this, that, and the third. He was like, look, you gotta be a butthole. He said, this is what you do. You get there, you find the he said, now you got to do this when you first get there. He said, when you get there, you find the baddest one in formation, and you smoke the dog sugar honey iced tea out of her.
Hey, who you know hella cold with a heart of gold. Slick was slipping in some gems when the shade thrown. Hit you with knowledge and polish, pushing the positive, steady, petty, plotting with the thought you get something out of it. That petty like a second language, speaking it fluently. Effortless with finesse to a T smoothly. Guiding you from breakdowns to breakthroughs per usually. Poetically petty, that's so juicy.
Right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to season 2 of the Poetically Petty podcast. I'm your host, ThatsSoJuicy, and y'all, I have a very special guest in the building. A lot of you may not know him, but by the end of this podcast, I'm sure you are going to love him just as much as we did, because I met him in the military, you guys. This is a retired Army vet. Okay, he's a father, he's a husband, he's also an autism advocate, which is really dope, and he's a Sigma. Y'all, warm welcome, because he was my platoon sergeant at AIT. Mr. Andre Ross. Brr, 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 brr. Hey, Sar. Look,
Hey,
I
what's
still
up?
call him Sar Ross. He's not even in anymore. But
Yeah,
he will always be Sar Ross. How
yeah,
you
yeah.
feeling today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I thank you for having me tonight. How's everything
Listen,
going there?
I don't think, because we still go by Wolfpack, okay? I don't
Yeah,
think the Wolfpack would have let me continue on season after season and not have you on here. So definitely had to
yeah.
get you on here. Plus, y'all, he's very professional, but he's also very I've seen the petty in action, okay? It's sometimes
Okay.
subtle,
A little, a little, a
but it's
little,
just a little bit, but it's
just a
there.
little.
It's there.
It's all in love though. I mean, a lot of it, a lot of it was in love. So, if I was bothering you like that and petty like that, that
Right.
means I liked you. I didn't
If he didn't pay you no attention and didn't know your name,
yeah.
then you worry.
Typically, if I was like, yeah, I got some petty stuff. But we'll get into that when
We're gonna get into it. Don't you
yeah.
worry. Let's go ahead and get
I
into our
feel
first
you.
segment. This segment is called Petty Pet Peeves. This is my absolute favorite because y'all know I got a lot of pet peeves. So we're gonna get into this. So you wanna go first?
All right.
Do you have pet peeves? I feel like you got pet peeves.
First, um, so I think I I definitely had a few um when I was in the army. I think one of my biggest pet peeves especially when I was an AIT Platoon sergeant, I hated when and it probably happened to y'all a few times, like the permanent party would come over to the DFAC and they would, oh well, we got some privates over here, so let's go bully the privates,
Yeah.
and it was always that I don't know if you ever remember me telling y'all this, don't think the uniform will keep you from getting your, your butt whipped,
Yep.
because you get those tend to talk slick out their mouth because, okay, well, this person is only a private,
Hmm.
and I was at basic training, and we were going through the in processing at basic training, and I think he was like a corporal. He called me back. We were doing finance or something. He called me back. He was like, "Hey, private, blah 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 blah." And I was like, I thought he was joking
All right.
how he was talking to me. So I didn't go over there. So um, he finally got me over there, and he's talking to me crazy, and I'm looking like, um, I went to parade rest, but I guess the facial expression that I had was like, yeah, like if we was outside of this uniform,
Right.
this conversation would be different. But I know he was only doing that because He outranked me. So
Right.
that was one of the things that I said I'll never do. I'll never treat a soldier bad just because I outrank them.
Right.
That wasn't going to, like, I told myself I'll never talk to you in uniform sideways. I'll never say something to you that I wouldn't say something to say the
Right.
same thing
Outside of
downtown
uniform.
Augusta. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it the same way, but you had a lot of people that were so tough in uniform, but you know, they really wasn't about that life. So
Every
that was
time.
one of the things that I really, really, really hated. It was a few of them that was there. I ain't gonna call them, say no names, but it was a few of them that was there when you
You
was
ain't gonna
there.
get too petty.
And nah, I ain't gonna. Yeah, but yeah, it was a few of them that was there that was like that, and that they
Yeah.
used to really piss me off. So that was one
Yeah,
of them.
I do remember a few times, especially with us being, it always happened in a defect. You would come in and you would like get people together, and we were just like, yeah, here come our, we used to be
Yeah,
joking, like, here come our platoon daddy, say it again, say it
yeah,
now.
yeah. I hated that.
Because they definitely would do that. And it's just like, we're not even
Yeah,
doing nothing. Y'all just want, we see
yeah,
you. You just want to flex. Like,
yeah,
okay. So,
yeah.
yeah, I definitely
Keep,
can see that.
yeah, keep it moving.
I can see that. You have any other pet peeves? What do you have any? Because
Oh,
I got a lot.
man, so one of my biggest ones, since I retired is, for whatever reason, everybody thinks I'm rich. So the Bank of Georgia. And here's the thing. I'm never going to give you money that I'm going to miss. So
Right.
if I need it back, if I'm in a situation where I need this money back, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right.
So, but people, some people give it back, some people don't. My whole thing is, if you tell me, um, hey, I get it back to you on the first, then I shouldn't have to call you on the
I
second
want my
or
money.
the third, yeah, asking for, hey, where's my money? Or
Right.
worst come to worst, if you can tell me, hey, look, don't call me on the second. Hey, look, I ain't got it. Hey, you knew on the 29th you weren't gonna have it, you know. So, hey, look, Dre, I don't have it. I'll get it back to you when I can. I
Right.
can work with that all day. But when you just
Right.
totally disregard it and oh well, you got this, that, look, don't count my pockets.
I
If
hate,
you
oh
told
my
me,
God.
yeah, if you told me you was going to give it back to me, then, you know, keep to your word.
I hate that.
So
I
yeah.
hate having to beg for my money back. Like, it's my, give me my money back. And then
Yeah.
I hate when people, that's one of my pet peeves too. I hate when people count my pockets. Like, especially with me having like a business and stuff, they be like, oh, you did this and that, you selling this for that. So you be making like, so why are you counting my
That
pockets?
ain't none of your business. Yeah, yeah. That ain't
Or
none of your
they'll sit there.
business.
I've had somebody like Google how much, like what I do for a living, how much I make in
Really?
Georgia. I'm like, you don't even,
Are you
you know,
serious?
there's other, yes. Like it's so
So
weird.
wait,
And it'd be
so
like
wait.
random people. And I'm like,
So wasn't somebody that owed you money back, was it?
no, not somebody
Oh,
that owed
oh,
me
oh,
money.
oh.
No, I wish they would. That'd be somebody in
Yeah,
my family
yeah.
for sure. But like when people, cause like when they'll see that I'm a forensic scientist, right? They'll be
Hmm.
like, oh, you're a forensic scientist, but they don't know that I work on the digital side. So they'll
Yeah.
just Google forensic and be like, oh, you make this much a year. But first of all, why are you Googling that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, and then why are you counting
You
my
got
pockets?
way too much time on your hand.
Too much. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you counting my pockets? That's the,
Yeah.
oh, don't do that. I'll make the math so simple for you. I will never give you money again. Like,
That's it.
don't count my
That's it.
pockets.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Like, when if I have to call you about that, then you just like you said, you just made my life easier, because now I just
Never,
put you on that list, you know, put you on that
never.
list not to rock with you again. So yeah,
And then
you
they
got
be
that.
negotiating with you, but you work this and you don't you ain't you a veteran? Ain't you? Why are
Oh,
you? Why?
yeah,
You're not about
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
negotiate with
yeah,
me
yeah,
about
yeah,
my
yeah,
coin. It's
yeah,
mine. Like
yeah,
you already borrowing it. You know you're not gonna pay it back. Don't ask me to borrow. You're not gonna
yeah.
pay it back.
And that's
Like,
see, it's a difference with, hey, can I get and can I borrow? So
right,
which one is it? Which one do you need? Oh,
right.
can I borrow it?
If you
Okay,
want to
that
borrow, it come with interest. So you gonna pay this interest back?
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Is it come with interest? I
I
start
need
doing
to,
it to
you
some
know what?
people.
I need that might be a good
It
idea.
works.
Yeah, that
You need
might
to
be a
borrow a
good
hundred
idea.
dollars? Sure. I get paid. I get paid in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna give it right back. Well, when you give it right back, I'm gonna need a hundred and
Yeah,
twenty-five.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
That
what?
ain't.
I only borrowed. I'm
Hey,
I'm at $100 for 2 weeks.
yeah.
The least you could do is give me an extra 25. Like
You know what?
it
You
works.
you might
I
be on to
promise you.
something. You
They
might
not
be
trying
on
to
to
pay
something.
that extra money.
You might be on to something.
Try it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
telling
yeah, yeah.
you.
You might be on to
That's one of
something.
my pet peeves too. Like, cause it's not a pet peeve because I love to help people. It's a pet
Yeah,
peeve
yeah,
when
yeah,
people constantly try to take advantage. They
yeah.
lying, they doing all that. Bet I'm
Oh,
gonna give you this money for the 19th time this
don't
year, but
don't
now you
talk
got
to
to
me.
pay me back more. Like, if
Yeah.
you go to a loan spot, they're gonna do the same thing.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care if
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
related.
yeah.
I don't care if you've known me for years.
Yeah.
They're gonna do the same thing, and you would go gladly go to them, and it's not a big thing. But you come
Yeah.
to me, and it's a thing. No,
Yeah.
yeah. You want to
Yeah,
borrow? Sure. There's interest involved.
those liars kill me.
There
Oh,
is interest
I'm gonna give it back
involved,
to
of
you.
course.
Yeah, man. Look, the stories I can tell, but I got
Just do it.
you.
Tell them it's interest. Tell them you're gonna need this. I don't know how
I'm
much
a
interest you're gonna put on it,
look.
but tell them if they be like, "What? I only borrowed this." Tell them, "Okay, but I'm gonna be out of however amount for this long. You don't think that deserves an extra 25?" Like
That's a good idea.
every time. You're welcome.
You turn me
That's
on
why
to
you
something.
keep me
Yes,
around.
sir. Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Let me. I'm gonna get into my pet peeve, and it's gonna be.
Okay.
I mean, it's because this just happened to me yet again, but it also happened in the military, and it's happened in every place I've ever worked.
Uh-huh.
So my pet peeve is I hate when people discriminate against me because of my body type. And it's
Right.
like some things I understand, but I've literally had this shape since I was born, basically. So I know what I can and can't do. I know what's professional and not professional, but I hate when people will pick me out of a crowd, especially if we all have on the same uniform and tell me that mine is wrong. And I'm like, just because she this big or just because she got 100 pounds on me, don't make it any different. Like like you say, the standard is the
It's the
standard. Ain't
standard.
nothing
Yeah.
hanging out. Ain't nothing like it
Yeah.
ain't too tight. I can pinch it. I know the rules. Okay. I study the
Yeah.
rules because I know they always come for me. But there was a time at AIT, it was when we did the what was it, the little games that we had? Remember we had the games and it was
Oh
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Patriot games.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we did that. And me and my battle, my right hand person,
yeah.
Edwards. We had on when I say the
Wait,
exact same outfit, same
y'all wasn't
t-shirt,
skipping? She
say
didn't get you
nah,
to
we wasn't skipping. We didn't participate, but we wasn't skipping.
okay. Got you,
But we had on
got
the
you.
same exact outfit. And Sergeant Major, I think it was Sergeant Major Green. It's okay. Sergeant Major, she
Yeah.
picks me out of this full crowd. I'm like, how did you even see me? Walks over and tells me that I need to go change. Not only did I need to go change, and Edwards didn't because she was right next to me, but she walked me back to the barracks to make sure
Did
I went
she?
and changed. I'm like, absolutely walked me.
You
Then we got
lying.
there
She
and all the
walked you
doors
all
was
the way
locked. We couldn't
from
even
Bart
get in.
because we were all at the field.
Exactly. So I had to hide from her the rest of the day because she kept looking for me to make sure I changed. She's like, I'm gonna be watching, I'm gonna make sure. And I was like, okay. She didn't walk
Really?
me all the way to the door, but she walked me to like the basketball court. Me and Edwards. And then we couldn't get
Wow.
in. All the door. I'm like, everybody's there. And I was like, bro, I'm so done.
So
So
wait, wait.
we went back and I just sat and I hid from her the whole time. Every time I saw her coming, I walked away to somebody else. I was hiding behind Butler. I was hiding behind Curry, like all of them,
Wow.
because I'm like, there's no way that happened on deployment. A lady sees me across the PX and comes over and she wants to check my nails and everything and my hair. And I'm like,
So
what?
she was She was
It was a
military. She was
captain.
an
It was a
officer.
female captain. Yep. Don't know why. Like that happened. I had a female captain check me about my hair in the shower. I'm like, man, we are all sitting here with nothing on, and you want to tell
Wait,
me something
wait,
about
wait,
my
wait, wait,
hair
wait. In the shower.
in the shower because my hair changes colors in the summertime. So I have natural hair, so my little poof was like really, really reddish, but my hair changes colors. And then the top of my hair was like dark black because that's where my hat is all the time. And then the
Yeah,
sides, if you really looked, it was like a lighter brown because the sun hits the side sometimes.
yeah.
But she told me like my hair, and I'm like, respectfully, ma'am or sergeant, I don't really know what your rank is because we're naked. Like,
Wow.
I'm in the shower. Like, I don't, you're going to have to find me when I have an NCO or something with me because this is ridiculous. Like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, you're doing too much.
So wait,
Meanwhile, a captain steps out the shower and she has two-tone. And I know she's a captain because she was in our leadership. She has two-tone hair. The bottom was blonde, the top was black. Like, a part and like, no blends, no
and didn't
highlights.
say nothing to her.
Didn't say nothing to her because, she, I guess because she was blonde. But said something to me about my ponytail looking a little reddish under the light because my hair changes colors in the sun. I'm like, why y'all always pick me?
Wow.
And to pick me in the shower, and because I
Yeah,
don't
that's
have any
crazy.
clothes on,
That's
only
crazy.
thing you
Yeah,
can say is my hair. Like,
that's
be for real.
crazy.
Be for real.
Wow.
Like,
That was one thing that um I never really addressed was like the female hair because
mhm.
I didn't know
Yeah,
it like that. So I'm
a lot
like
of guys don't. It's always
I'm
a
like
woman. Always.
hey,
So they
I
called
ain't
me
gonna
petty though. It was, and we were
really
in a field shower. I'm like, get away from me. But yeah, they called me petty because again, that female that had the two-tone hair, she was a captain for one of our down trace companies. So whenever they did
uh-huh.
the cub and the bub or whatever, I would be
Yeah,
there because S6, I got to do the CPOP stuff.
yeah.
And the sergeant major loved me. Like the sergeant major we had he loved me. So I was like, Sergeant Major, I got a question. And it was another sergeant had came in. She was the S1 NCOIC. She came in like in the midst of it to take a shower. And she's like, and I'm like, Sergeant, can you like get her? Cause like now I'm irritated. Like I was irritated. So she was like, okay, she's fine. This is my soldier. I'll handle it. She's like, okay. And she left. And she was like, you're fine.
So
But
did you
we
ever
were
find out who it was?
the lady, she was
Yeah.
from, I don't know who she was. She was from one of the other companies, but
Ah,
some
okay.
I think she was a major or a captain, I don't know. So we were in the briefing, but it was a break between the pub and the cub.
Uh-huh.
Or the bub and the cub. So it was a break, so everybody's eating. And I was like, sorry, Major, the lady, she wasn't in there yet. But I know the people that work with her was. And the NCO that came to help me, she was in there. So I was like, sorry, Major, what are the regulations for women's hair? And they all looked at me like, oh. And he's like, oh, well, it just has to be like a natural color. And I was like, so if I wanted to go like, I don't know, blonde, can I do that? And he was like, if it looks good on you, yeah, that's a natural color. I was like, okay, what if I wanted like blonde and maybe, I don't know, black? Because that was her hair.
Because the
And they're
captain was
like,
there.
she was in the talk, but she wasn't in the conference room at the
Uh-huh.
time.
Okay.
And they're looking at me like, oh, no. And I was like, okay. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like if I wanted both colors. And he was like, oh, I know what you mean. Like sometimes, your hair grows out. I was like, no, like I distinctively want both colors. And he was like, I mean, I guess if it looks good. He was like, well, let's pull it up. And he pulled it up and started reading the regs out. And then she walked in. And I was like, so I can come next month with blonde hair and everything will be good. And he was like, well, if it looks natural on you. I'm like, I'm glad you said that, sir. I pulled out my phone and was like, because I was blonde once. So I showed him and he was like, oh, you look good as a blonde. I was like, bet I'm coming in blonde next month. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing.
Wow.
And I was like, so, and if I wanted two-tone hair, I can do that.
And you looked
He
at the
was like, if it
captain.
looks good. I looked right at her. He was like, if it
Uh,
looks good, because she didn't say nothing either, because it wasn't her that addressed me first. It was some
right.
other lady that she was new. She was new
So
to the
wait, wait,
battalion.
wait,
I've never
wait,
seen her.
wait, wait. So she addressed you as well?
There was two women. One was brand new to the battalion, never seen her before. So
Uh-huh.
she comes in. A lot of times too, people come from active duty and they just want to like,
Right.
I'm gonna whip all these reservists into shape. So I've never seen her before. I don't know where she came from. I don't know if she was just out there for the hell of it. The
Uh-huh.
other lady that had the two-tone hair, she was in because we had like shower curtains, but to
Right.
get dressed, it was just open.
Right.
So she was in the shower when she's hearing all of this. And then she stepped out. And I'm looking at the lady like, so you're not gonna say nothing to her because y'all both the same color, but you're gonna say something to me about my
Mm,
ponytail while I'm sitting here trying to dry off and get dressed, like. And then she
wow.
didn't even say anything. She didn't say, "Oh no, she could, her hair is fine," or not. She just didn't say nothing until my NCO walked in from battalion, was just like, "She's my soldier, I'll handle it." And I'm like, "Are you?" Because I was getting mad. Like, first of all, don't try to argue with me and want me to go to parade rest or nothing while I'm naked. Like, all bets
Yeah,
are off in the
that's
shower.
yeah,
Like, that's
that's
ridiculous. And you want me to respect you, ma'am? I'm not going to.
we're not
Like,
even having a conversation.
we're not talk. Stop
Yes.
talking to me. Like, I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
everything
yeah.
but tell her to shut the F up. I was like, can
Yeah.
we can talk about this later. Listen, this is what tent I'm in. I work in a talk. You can find me. Like, I'm not talking to you right now. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be serious right now.
We're not
So
even
I
having that
that's my pet
conversation.
peeve.
That's
I hate it
crazy.
everywhere. It's happened at work, like outside of the military. They're like, "Oh, you got to get giving me huge
So what do you want
pants,"
to
and
do?
I'm like,
Yeah, what do you like? Yeah, what do you want to do?
if I have huge pants, they're gonna fall off of me because they're too big. And if I tighten my belt, it's gonna look even worse. It's gonna exaggerate my curves.
Yeah.
Like, what y'all want me to do? And then when I wear a bigger shirt, I look sloppy. And you want me to look professional. So that's my
Yeah.
pet peeve. I hate it. I hate it. Like,
Well,
there's nothing I can do. I've been this shape. I'm always gonna like
yeah,
hate it.
I look, I typically you're not going to get complaints, not complaints, but you're not going to get comments from males because they're
Yeah.
most of them,
Y'all,
most of us
Sergeant Ross,
didn't.
I'd be walking down the hall because his desk was at the end of the female hall. I'd be walking down the hall. He'd be like, "You might as well turn around." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Come on."
Well, so now certain things are like, yeah, certain things were like, nope, nope, too tight.
Sarah Smith too. She'd be like, "Nope,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
why y'all
yeah, yeah,
still walking.
yeah,
I don't know why y'all still walking." I'm like, Sarah
yeah,
Smith, you look,
yeah,
do the test, do the grab test." She's like, "I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah.
Turn around." I'm like, "Oh my God, what do you want me to wear?"
It's a,
I
look,
bought
it's a
men's clothes,
bless,
and y'all
it's
still
a
was like, "Nope,
blessing and it's a curse.
it's
It's a
been a
blessing
curse
and a
all my
curse.
life." Now all I get is BBL comments on social media. I'm like,
Uh,
okay,
no,
okay.
I can testify that it was there
I'm
what 10
like,
years ago.
I've
Yeah,
been here before y'all knew what that was.
yeah,
Like, just let it go.
I
Why
can
that's not an
testify to
insult. It's not an
that.
insult. That's what the people that know me in real life, they're always in the comments like, are they serious? I'm like, yeah, it
Yeah.
happens like once a week. I just be like, okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is my pet peeve. But speaking of y'all and AIT telling us to turn
Mm.
around and none of that, I got a couple confessions. So we're gonna go into our
Okay.
next segment, which is called Petty Confessions. Now I'm gonna go
Okay.
first because I gotta get this off my chest.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead. Get it off the
I
chest.
might have told y'all. I might have told y'all. And don't be mad at me, Battles. I ain't gonna say nobody's names. He might be able to figure it out. I ain't gonna say nobody's
Oh, this is
names.
males. Let me see.
But I was student leadership, y'all. So I was student leadership, and then I was like
Oh,
the
I already know who
female
this
our
is.
hall.
I already know
No,
who
I
this
ain't saying
is.
the student. I ain't saying the people was in student leadership. I'm just
I
giving
know.
backstories for my listeners that may not know what the heck I'm about to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So all the females was on one floor, and it was the first floor. And at the end of the hallway, we had like all of our washers and dryers. The front of the hallway, it was some more, but it was more males than females, so we just used the back one.
Hmm.
But there was also a door in the back. And if it was open to go to the second and third floor where the guys were, an alarm would
Oh
go off. But that same alarm sound just like the fire alarm too. And if you put all the dryers on at one time, let them get real hot, and then
man.
you open them all and shut the windows in the laundry room, it'll set off the fire alarm.
Yes.
So with me being a student leadership, I was always bed checks was bed checks, okay?
Oh
Especially
yeah.
when Son Ross was on.
Oh
So
yeah.
I would always get calls or texts in the middle of the night. I'm in my bed where I was supposed to be. And they're like, Tony, oh my God, I fell asleep at the hotel. I'm like, you ain't back? Girl, what are you doing? What do you mean? I'm like, how did we get past I don't know how they got past. I mean, a couple times I've done that. I'll walk past the first time, like, hey, so and so's here. He's like, what? Where? I said they're here. Just They're here. Okay. You see me? They're
Yeah.
here. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know why. They never questioned me. I was like, okay. I feel like a
Mm.
little mob boss there. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, you need to get back before bed checks. All right. There was a couple, taxi drivers that may or may not have had a crush on me.
Hmm.
And I would line their pockets, not with my money, because you already know how I feel about money.
Yeah.
But I would make sure, them little $3 rides would be worth their while, because I mean, interest, right? So there was
Yeah.
this one or two that I would call, like, I don't care who in the car, put them out. I need you to go to this hotel and I need them to be here by this time. And I'll call, you want to make $60? Because $60 versus $3 or $5 was a lot. Put that in your pocket. So they're like,
Yeah.
what's going I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody can be in the car. I need you to pull up, turn your lights out when you're coming down, drop
Oh
her off
man.
as close to this side as possible. I don't care about him. He's not my responsibility.
Mm.
He got to figure it out. But I'm like, and I asked them, like, how much money you got on you? I only have, how much money do you have on you? Guess you have no more because you have to give it all to him. So they
Wow.
gave the taxi driver the money. He pulled up, lights out. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know how, but we gonna make sure that he do bed checks upstairs first. I'm gonna tell the boys to act
Who was
crazy
on
so he can
duty?
go up there first. I think it was you.
You
It
are
was
you
you or
sure?
Sergeant Hazley. It was you or Sergeant
It
Hazley.
it had to be
Nope,
Hazley.
it was Hazley because he used to start upstairs first and he would come downstairs so he would finish and just sit at his desk.
Yeah.
So I think it was Hazley. So he went upstairs first. I was like, bet. I turned on all the dryers and then I put a laundry bag in there, but I put PTs in there. And I was like, I put winter PTs because I think she had on jeans. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, when you come in, just throw these winter PTs on and just get to your room down the hall because they had to walk towards the desk. And I'm like, you can't walk
Oh,
towards the
so
desk in
they was in the
jeans.
regular rooms. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm going to open the window, climb through the window. Okay. I said, worst come to worst. We're going to open all these dryers. If he come on this floor and you're not here, we're opening all the dryers, set off the alarm. Everybody going to be outside. I'm going to throw the stuff out the window, get dressed, and bring your tail around the building. Like, we had a whole escape route.
Mm.
But I came up there and I said, can I wash clothes? Because we had a bunch of washers that was broken. And I was like, now is the only time I can wash clothes because there's only two washers working. Can I wash clothes? I know I'm supposed to be in bed, but can I wash clothes? And they
So
was like,
wait,
go
wait.
ahead.
Hazley fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
Listen.
He fell for it.
They was like, go ahead. I'm like, I was always the good soldier.
Ah.
So he's like, go ahead. So I'm in there. So I'm like, you gonna see me getting up. And I was like, me and I was almost said the person's name. I said, me and
Mm,
so and so gonna wash our clothes. So if we out of bed, it's just because we washing our clothes. And it was like, all right. So
mm.
they started the person had just got there and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm going in there. Me and Edward's like, what the heck? I'm like, hey, I'm about to go in the front and be
So
like,
wait,
can I
wait,
ask
wait, wait,
somebody
wait.
for
The person that just got there?
so they started
Oh,
bed
oh, oh,
checks
oh, okay,
at the
okay. The
front
person,
and they weren't
I
there
got you.
yet.
I got
And then they're like,
I
I'm
got
at
you.
the window. And I'm like, oh my God, he's on like I thought you was in your room. And they're again, they're at like the fifth room or sixth room and he's at
Yeah.
room one or two. So I was like, hey, yo. So I'm like, Edward, go in there, help her. And she trying to get through the thing. Like, so she's coming through the window
She's
so
trying to crawl
loud.
through the
So
window.
she was so loud. So he hears something. And then as soon as
Really?
I saw that, I went in there, opened all the dryers and shut the door just in case. Like I needed the alarm to go off. But I went
Wow.
up there and he was like, what is all that? And I was like, what? I was like, can I go and ask CQ if they got dryer sheets? Because I'm just talking. I'm like, I need dryer sheets. And can I go? I'm trying to stall as much as I can. And he was like, who out of their bed? So he go back there.
Oh, so he
Thank
figured
God
it
the
out.
girl. He was just like, what is that? He didn't figure it out though. Thank God they had got in. Edwards messed up her arm trying to pull Shorty through the window. She had just put on her PTs, and then he's like, "Why are you in like that?" She's like, "I'm trying to wash my clothes. I didn't have any PTs to wash." And she was in a dryer. Her shoes was on the side of the washer. She was like acting like she was getting her stuff, and Edwards was like, "I'm moving Tony stuff so I could wash my clothes." And everybody was just on cue, and he's like, y'all need to hurry up and quit. And we always had that window raised a little bit just to make sure the alarm didn't go off. So he was just like, y'all need to stop making all this noise and get into bed. And it
Wow.
was like, okay, go to bed. The girl that came through the window limping, I'm like, you better walk straight until you get to your bed. Edward's arm
Wow.
is all bruised up. I'm like, what y'all be doing? She's like, thank you. I owe you so much. I'm like, bro, you owed Edwards. She got hurt trying to help you. So
That's
that's my little
crazy.
that's
So
my little
he
confession.
I'm a call Hazley and be like, yo, you fell for that? You fell for that?
He gonna see this like word, Tony. Sorry. You
You
just happen to be the person on this. Now,
fell
if it was
for
Sergeant
that?
Shirley, we'd have never made it. Cause Sergeant
Oh yeah,
Shirley,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he look, I'm gonna talk about him later. He's one of my he is yeah, yeah, I'll talk about him later. He's definitely
well, I ain't gonna give no more. Cause the way you judging me, I ain't gonna give no more confessions. Maybe
look
next time
look,
you can go ahead if you have a confession.
let
It
me
doesn't have
see.
to be about AIT. Whatever
No,
confession.
no, so this is and it's not really as bad as that. But so
I was sticking up for my. I was making sure they were safe.
I got you. Hey, hey, I feel you. I feel you. So this is a I was because I came from Germany and
Hmm.
my sergeant major got me the position for my son with his, was with his autism. They have a
Hmm.
good autism program. So he was a drill sergeant. He was a previous drill. And my NCOIC, which was a E8, they were previous drill. So, they was giving me all the little, they was like, look, Ross, look, when you go, the females, they gonna try you, this, that, and the third. He was like, look, you gotta be a butthole. He said, this is what you do. You get there, you find the bad. He said, now you gotta do this when you first get there. He said, when you get there, you find the baddest one in formation. And you smoke the dog sugar honey iced tea out of her in
See, that's
front of
that discrimination I was
everybody.
talking about,
Yeah.
y'all.
But see, it's a method to the madness. You smoke the dog out of her in front of everybody. And what that lets everybody else know is, man, if you do that to her,
Right.
I ain't got a chance. And that's what, we have to establish the fact that there is zero favoritism because
Right.
y'all would come with the parade pretty. I beat it, kick rocks. And that's sure enough, that's what I did. I ain't gonna say her name, but like she kinda I'm gonna tell you who she kinda reminded me of.
This was before
Stacy
I got
Dash.
there.
This was like
Okay.
I and I used to kind of shadow Hazley.
Okay.
So um yeah, she kind of like had the Stacy Dash look. Yeah, she was there.
Poor thing. She ain't
She
even
was
do
there.
nothing.
And she caught a bad one in front of everybody. Yeah. Front,
On the
back.
basketball court.
No, this was in front of C1. So it wasn't no grass.
Oh.
No, it ain't nothing but dirt and rocks out there. Hey, she said something, and she wasn't really saying it. Was just she
It
slipped
was
up. I
enough.
was like, what? All right, go ahead and grab yourself some real estate.
Oh
Yeah,
my God. We
yeah.
hated that.
Go ahead and grab yourself some real in
Grab
front
you.
of
Oh, not
everybody.
not real estate.
Yeah,
We
front, back. Hey, she
listen.
was dusty. Hey, damn,
Oh
son,
my
yeah.
God.
Hey, sure enough. Hey, she
You
was the
oh, you made her do sit-ups and stuff too. You probably had her
Oh
doing
man, oh
leg
yeah,
tuck and
yeah, yeah,
twists.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She caught a bad one. She caught a bad, but it
Oh
was just
man.
it was just like I had to establish that dominance
Right.
for the entire company. And
Right.
and actually that's how I did the bed check. That's how I started that was
Mm.
um what I told him was my first time pulling duty. I said, look, if I find anybody up, if I find one person up, the entire building is going to the basketball court. And I would always start with the males because I knew they was going to be up past bed check. So I knew y'all were going to do the right. Y'all were at least going to be in your
In bed.
rooms
And
or
yeah.
in bed. Now, y'all might not be asleep, but y'all were at least in your bed. So I knew I had to establish
Right.
that dominance. So I would go up, sure enough, Mel be running from the bathroom, still got on, regular clothes. Everybody outside. And it would be cold,
Oh my
raining.
God.
Yep.
We stayed
So,
on the basketball court at one point. I'm like, what is going
but
on?
what that did was that helped me later on down the road. So like, okay, well, who's on duty? Y'all would come down. Who's on duty for the, especially like the weekends? That would be the first
Be like,
question.
who on duty? They're
Who on
like,
duty
Son
this
Ross.
weekend?
Everybody like,
Summer?
ah.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I ain't got to worry about it. So, y'all knew when y'all had cotton candy at the desk,
Oh my God.
so
And they're like,
yeah,
mail on the floor, and all you hear
yeah,
is bed checks. It's
yeah.
freaking bed. Everybody in
Bed
the room,
checks,
like
freaking bed
everybody just
check.
act like you sleep.
That's all I
Everybody just
cared about. Yeah, that's all I cared about. So, that kept because a lot of the drama and all that stuff, that never happened when I
hmm
was on duty. It would always be, I ain't gonna say their names, it was always others that caught the drama. So, yeah.
No major. I don't think any major drama happened with you on desk. It was drama. It didn't
Yeah,
make
it
it
might
to
have been
you.
drama, but it
Yeah,
wasn't like it wasn't like, you know,
nothing crazy.
yeah, nothing crazy. So,
What it was too is that like I don't know about C1 is I mean C2 what it was is like our y'all became like parents to us in a way, we're away
yeah.
from we're there 5 months. Was it 5 months, 20 weeks?
Yeah.
We're away
Yeah,
from
yeah.
our family. Some people there longer because they didn't fail the class or something. So like y'all have become our parents. We don't know nothing about the military, y'all shaping us and all that. So a lot of it was like, dang, I don't want to disappoint Sarah Ross.
You
Like
know what? You know what? It's funny you tell that story. It's funny you said that. And I particularly picked you out. Y'all, I forgot what y'all it did. I think it was that time y'all got in trouble at the movies. But
really?
when y'all did something, y'all
Something.
came back and it was you and Edwards. And I told you, I said, I'm disappointed in you. I expected more. And like you was like, oh, just fuss at me, do whatever. I was like, no, I'm disappointed. I
Oh,
don't even want
I
to
do
talk to you.
remember that.
And you just like
We both was like, "Can you just smoke us,
yeah,
please?" You
you
was like,
just put your
"No." We
head
was like,
down and
"Oh."
y'all walk back. I was like, nope,
I
I'm
think we went to
disappointed.
take a nap after that.
But
It's just like,
I purposely said that because I knew it would get to y'all.
right,
So,
man. Me and Edwards was like, "All
yeah, I
right."
was
I
like,
don't know what we did. I think we
I'm
just got
dis
caught downtown. We wasn't doing nothing crazy, but
no, I forgot. I
um,
forgot. It was a group of y'all though. I think this time it was a group of y'all.
it
And
probably was our whole class used to do everything together.
yeah,
Like, it probably was
yeah,
the whole class. A lot
well,
of times though, me and Edward couldn't find our third because we had a three to go off post. We could never find our third person. The third person was
because she was
always doing
always
something crazy.
she was always a phase four.
They was just like, no, I think she went back once, but me and her went, and then
No,
once,
no, no, no,
what's
no,
her
no.
name?
Not Edwards. Not Edwards.
I know you're
Because
talking about, yeah, she was, yeah,
it
and we was
was,
like, okay, we can't use her no more.
yeah,
So then we found she got phased back. She was there for a minute, then she got phased back, and we was like, oh my God, and we couldn't find, and then we got another one, and then that's the baby. She kept getting in trouble too.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
was still phase five, but she kept getting in trouble. We can't go with you.
yeah.
And we found another one. We was like, this one might work out. We had to keep auditioning our third. It's like, when we would get
Yeah,
caught, it was usually because it was just us two. And we're like, look, I don't know where she at. We got tired of
yeah,
babysitting because we were like older. We was like, we tired of
yeah,
babysitting. Like it is what it is.
yeah,
But I definitely remember that. And we were just like, dang.
yeah. I
And he
was
was just
like,
like, just
I'm
give us
disappointed.
CQ or give us
Nope.
something. Just
I don't
punish
even
us.
want to.
And he was like,
I don't
nope.
even want to talk to y'all.
And he just walked
Just
away.
go
Then he
away.
just walked away and went to his office. We were like,
Yeah,
oh, he he meant that.
Yeah,
Like, we didn't
yeah.
see him for the rest of the day. It was just like, oh my gosh.
I
But that's what it
purposely,
was. Like, it
yeah,
was
I
really like
purposely did that. Yeah,
it was like a family. I don't know about C1. They was a little ratchet. But C2
yeah,
was really like a family and our
yeah,
class was really tight knit. So it was like, dang. And I know Sir Smith wasn't our platoon sergeant, but she was there
yeah,
most times too.
yeah,
So it's just like, dang. And then
yeah.
she was the only female. She was black. You know what I mean?
She was
So it
the
was like,
mama. She was the mama. I
dang,
know.
we can't disappoint her
Yeah,
either. So
yeah.
that's what it was. It was really like we didn't want to disappoint him. Now, Sergeant Shirley, he was like our drunk uncle. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
stayed out his way and
He
not pissed him
was
off, and we was good. But we like to
he
mess with him
was
because he was fun.
he was different. He was mm, he was I think he was the pettiest.
Oh, listen, I was gonna ask you
Look,
which platoon sergeant do you think was a? That's definitely who I have as the pettiest.
so
Absolutely.
at first I was like maybe Hazley, but the stuff Shirley would do, um, like we used to have to. I remember if he caught a wall locker unsecure. First of all, he was going to flip it. He was literally going to flip the wall locker, lock it up, flip it. Well, not lock it, but flip it,
Hmm.
put it back, and then he would always, um, and I actually got this from him. Uh, this is pretty petty too, but well, no, he got that from me. I would when I would do bed checks, if I found a wall locker unsecure, I would grab one, say from room 205, and keep. I would take it with me, and then
Oh,
if
the
I found
locks.
one, I would find one, and I would switch the locks. And hey, y'all better figure out
You figure?
whose lock is on whose wall locker. But he started doing that, and he would flip the lock backwards so they couldn't see the combination. So yeah, he was look,
Listen,
this dude
Sergeant
was
Shirley, that's what I call poetically petty.
yeah,
Okay, his petty
he
was
was
creative.
he was he was he caught somebody sneaking in Buffalo Wild Wings, and they was sneaking it in through, I forgot how he caught him, but he caught him in the laundry room. So he took he opened up the sauce and he just twisted the bag. He swung the bag around until all of the sauce, all the wings, like it was barbecue sauce
Oh
everywhere.
my God.
He was like, now clean it up. I was like, so not only
Oh my.
did he waste her food, it was a female. I can't remember the female's name. Not only did he waste her food, but like it was
He
barbecue
was
sauce.
not.
He was we used to have to be like, yo, man, like, yo, you can't do that. Why not?
He would just be like, and why
Yo,
not?
you can't do that. You can't take that. Like he literally, this is before y'all got there. You can't take their mattress because the bed isn't clean and literally throw it out the dog. You can't do that. And yeah, that dude was he was
Listen,
different.
some of them soldiers needed that, okay?
Yeah,
They was all right.
he was
And
different,
he would just be
man.
like, what? When
Yeah,
he did
like
final formation, everybody like, oh God. It was always fun though. We knew he was gonna have a good,
yeah,
especially if you knew you didn't do nothing wrong, you knew you was in for a treat.
yeah.
And he would sit there and he'll let the student first sergeant call the names and he'd be like, all right, you can go inside after you say here or whatever. And he would stand by the door and he'd be like, what's the general orders? And you start saying it. He'd be like, yell it. So he would be smelling your breath to see if you had any liquor. He would make us
I
yell the
didn't even think
Soldier's
about that.
Creed or something to him. He'd be like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, Shirley, I don't
Wow.
even drink. And he's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right. But
Yeah.
he was doing that to everybody. Then he had somebody, they had, you could tell somebody put something in their shirt, like a Gatorade or something. You can tell it was
Yeah.
something there. So he made them get down and do push-ups and it was just hitting the ground. I'm like, just take it out of your
Yeah.
shirt. Just
Just
say
take
you
it out.
ain't got it. Like
Just
it
take it
was
out.
always a show. It was always entertaining. I
Just
remember
take it
one of
out.
the soldiers was like, he's like, anybody want to say anything to me? Anybody got anything to confess? And one of the soldiers like, if you've been drinking, you might as well confess. He could Sergeant Shirley could smell the what do you say, liquor from the Christmas past on you or something like that.
Yeah,
And that was the
yeah,
first time I seen Sean Shirley like laugh at something, and everybody was like,
yeah,
"He laughed? Oh no,
yeah,
he about to get us!" Like everybody was
yeah,
like, Everybody act right because he about to get all of us." Like I think it was
yeah.
like one of the first two people to had alcohol, like first two
Really?
names. We're like, bruh. Like when it's the end and most of the people are
Hey,
already in the building, he don't really mess with them. But if the whole formation is still outside, because the first like 10
the
people
first couple? Yeah,
was
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
we
at
all
that
about to
point,
get smoked.
yeah, at that
Get
point,
on the
it's
basketball court.
yeah, we get to the end. I'm like, hey, look, y'all go ahead and go in. I look, the game is on.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I need to be watching the game. And y'all got everybody student first? All right. Okay, cool.
Back
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, Shirley ain't have nothing to do. Okay.
Yeah,
He calling
absolutely
every
nothing.
name and checking every soldier.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Who do you think was the pettiest soldier?
Ooh,
Was there one?
man, it was one before y'all got there.
Okay.
Man, she is always a female. She didn't like this other female, so um she took a whole bottle of bleach and poured it in the washing machine because her
Oh
she
my
knew her
God.
clothes was in there. She poured an entire bottle of bleach, and that was probably like, well, no, that and it was one kid. I told you about the kid Rodriguez, right?
I don't know.
That was
Maybe.
just
I don't remember.
that was a kid. Anyway, he was like the menace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So this kid was he was getting chaptered, right?
Hmm.
Um, but every time he did something, it would extend because they would have to do more paperwork.
Hmm.
So he got caught smoking weed in the barracks, like literally smoking weed in the barracks. MPs came and they were like, "Hey, all right, yeah, we're gonna take him down to the MP station and do the
Hmm.
paperwork." And the first sergeant at the time was like, "Paperwork? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What do you mean?" It was like, "Nah, nah, we ain't doing no paperwork because that was going to keep him there longer."
Right.
So
Right.
he was like, "Nah, we ain't doing no paperwork." So this dude would literally go through. He was a hold under,
Hmm.
so because he was getting chaptered, he would
Right.
go through, and they couldn't lock the doors. Go through, stealing sneakers.
Oh
Oh yeah,
my God.
this dude was so the first sergeant told us, "Hey, don't touch him." All right, cool. We doing formation. He walking around. He got the beat headphones on his head. Uh, like PT shirt all out. Like he's not even in formation. He's just walking across the court.
He just
So
gave up.
so I actually told God rest his soul, one of the soldiers, he passed away. I
Mhm.
said, "Hey, Ambrose, from here to here, y'all do whatever y'all want. Just don't touch the face." And they lumped him up. But what they did was he had some brand new Jordans, some brand new J's. One of the dudes took his Jordans, went to the bathroom, took a dump in the Jordans, in the
Oh
J's,
my God.
and put them because we couldn't punish him,
Right.
so we would punish the company. Hey, we can't get him, but we're gonna get y'all. So they would
As a
police him up.
collective, we said
Yeah,
he got it.
that's exactly what it
Say
was.
no more.
Yeah, so they would man, yeah, they started catching them. They started catching them. But yeah, when he the taking the dump in the J's was pretty petty, and the
Pretty
bleach in the
little, them
clothes.
little
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
the
that
oh
was
my God. What
And
happened with
so,
the bleaching clothes? Did she get in trouble? Like,
now, well, we didn't find out till later. And the girl that did it, she did it to, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, she did it to the girl that looked like the pretty girl that I smoked. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, she didn't like her. Yeah, so she poured bleach in her
she
entire
just
load.
was having. Did she stay in because the way y'all treated her?
No, 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 no. She was actually. Here's the thing. She was actually really a good soldier. Yeah, she was actually really
Poor
a good. And
thing.
I didn't scuff up too bad, but I just had to, But
He needed a
that's and that's
victim.
that's the thing. They enjoyed it, and that made it worse. Like, oh, Sergeant, I'm like, oh man, I don't know if that was a good idea. Yeah. So,
It's
but
rough
yeah,
out here for the. I will say that. I be seeing some of the women. I be like, girl, get yourself to go sit down. Like, what are you doing? Like, go sit down. Leave them alone.
yeah,
Like, when we would see that, especially me and Edwards was my right hand. We would see stuff and
yeah,
we like, not this one. Go sit down. When the new
yeah,
ones come in, we like, mm-mm. Nope, not our
yeah,
platoon, sir. You need to go sit
yeah.
down.
Hey,
And then if we
man.
saw them with the guys did it too, though. Like with our class, if
Oh yeah,
another
yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah.
came, they were like, nah,
Yeah. That's
nah,
hey,
because I was gonna say the pettiest soldier just from our class that I know. It got to be Jay Way, Josh Way. I'm gonna say it because
was
he
he?
was petty. Yes, especially to me. He got on my nerve. He was like the older brother you didn't ask for, like so
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah, yeah.
And when he got there, because I outranked them, so you put me
Uh-huh.
in charge, like right off. What was it? I think it was Sergeant Major Rayford. He was like, "Oh, get in front, lead," and I just stayed there. And
Yeah,
I guess when they all came from Benning, all the guys. So
yeah.
they were like, we ain't listening to no woman. So anytime I was in front of formation, he's like, sound off. I'm like, aren't you at attention? Shut up. And
Really?
once we became cool, because I didn't
Yeah.
like him. Once we became cool and became like a tight knit family, when we would be out at the mall or anything like that, if other guys would try to talk to us, our guys would come up like, y'all good? What's up? I'm like, move. Like, that's like, nah.
Look, no, they was
And then
doing
if it was a guy from another company
good,
that was like,
good,
oh
good,
no, you're not talking to
good,
another company. I'm like,
good,
move.
yeah, good.
And it's funny because the one guy that was like trying to talk to me, and I was like, I'm bored. Why not? I mean, we not getting married.
What company
That
was
was
he
the
at?
guy. There was a guy at another petty moment when we did the games when we became 5-5-1 and he
Uh-huh.
was winning the race and Joshua came out of nowhere and
Oh,
won.
that's the dude that do you know that picture is still in Darling Hall upstairs?
Is it? Listen, it's
Yes.
so funny. And then when that happened, that's not what was petty. When that happened, they kept bothering me like, aha, your little boyfriend. I'm like, that is not my boyfriend. I talked to him for 2 days
Good.
because I don't know how they wandered over to C2. Like they kept wandering. I'm like, where y'all from? Where y'all came from? Like,
He was down what was the hotel? We used to call it the hotel. He
I
was
don't
in
know.
was it Echo? Remember the
Possibly.
yeah, he was in Echo.
Oh, well, they just
The
like
the dude he caught.
in our AO, it was always C1 and C2 soldiers. So when they would
Yeah,
come over there, Bravo didn't even come over there. We like, why y'all over here? Why y'all in the
yeah.
hood?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you
Why
over here?
y'all in
And
the
then we didn't
PJs?
know them. We've never seen them before. So it was like 2 or 3 guys, and he was one of them. We were like, what are y'all doing? And we were just sitting like me and Edwards was sitting outside, and I think maybe Whitehead or somebody. And they just came up, but they were cool, so they were just talking to us. And I don't know
Yeah,
if the guys looked out the window because they were nowhere near us, but they all came outside like, "What's up?" We like,
yeah.
"What's wrong with
That's
y'all?"
what's
Like,
up.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
"Okay."
yeah. Hey,
Good. Mm-mm.
protect this earth. That's right.
But
That's what I'm
meanwhile, if
talking
we
about.
tried to do that, they like, "Move! Why you blocking?"
Yeah,
Like,
that's
nah,
right.
y'all did
Protect
this
the
to
turf.
us. And they all taller than us, so we couldn't do nothing. We were
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah. That's good. That's good.
petty. And then every time we see them, they go, "Your little boy, that is not my boy. Shut up." Like that, it was
That's
just like
good.
annoying. Just
That's what's
petty.
up. I never
Absolutely. They was
noticed
like
that
that.
from Josh Way. But they that's good. That's good.
The worst.
That's
The
good.
worst. And Gonzo would do it, but Gonzo would do it like being goofy about it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
he'd just
yeah,
be like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care. After that, he's like, I
yeah,
don't care.
yeah. Josh Wade
Butler,
would be serious.
Butler would a little, he was more like Butler and Curry were more like, y'all good? And we're like, yeah, we cool. And they'd be like, all right, when
Yeah.
we over here, Josh Wade will sit down
You
in
know what?
between us. I'm like, move
I can't see Josh Wade doing that. I now that
all
I
the
think about it,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
aggressive for no reason. I'm like,
I c-
move.
I can't see him doing that.
And then like one time me and Edwards had like a little disagreement. Uh, and I was like annoyed. That wasn't the time we got in trouble, but we should have.
Ah,
And I was annoyed because I was like, I'm so tired of doing this. Like, we always got to rush and find nobody answering their phone, everybody leaving. I don't know where y'all at. I'm just out here high and dry. Like, and then I got to cover for everybody. So I was just irritated. And I don't know what I think. A matter of fact, they kind of left me. And I come out and I'm like, where's everybody? No battle buddies in sight, nothing. So then
where were
him and
y'all at?
Mosey came out like, I think we was at the movie, we did the movies in the mall. So we went to the movies first and we went to the mall to eat. And I'm like, where is everybody? And I came out, everybody dipped. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just out here.
So wait,
So they
they
had
went
came out.
back to post?
I think they went to the mall just without me. Like they left early because I went to I was in a theater. Like
You
they
went to
just
see a
left for
movie
so
that
I
they
don't know
didn't want to
how it
see?
happened. And um I think it was him and Mosey. They ain't had a 30 either. I don't know where they was at. They came out like, "What you doing out here?" And I was just waiting for a taxi or Uber or something because I'm like, I'm gonna just go to the mall. Like, what am I? I'm not about to stay at the theater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the mall where I can blend in. And they came out like, "What are you doing? Like, where's
What are
your
you
battles?" I'm
doing?
like, bro, I don't know where they're at, and I'm irritated. Like, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me right now. Like, I'm mad. And they was like, "All right, well, come with us. We'll do like an improper battle buddy thing for now until we
Yeah.
find them." We get to the mall, they in the food court kicking it. I'm like, word? I was about to spaz out. They like, no, 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 because it's like drill sergeants walking around and platoon sergeants and stuff. Like you can see, people just looking for something. They was like,
Yeah.
don't say nothing. I'm like, let's go. Get your food. We're going. Like, let's go. So we get back. I'm like, bro, don't speak to me. I ain't gonna be mad at you tomorrow, but right now, don't speak to me. And it
Wow.
wasn't just her, like it was the whole group, but I was just like, we here. We always together.
So
Like you,
so why did they leave?
I don't know. I didn't talk to them because I'm like, if I talk, I'm going to cuss everybody out. And
Right.
everybody's like, don't cause a scene because I was ready to smack everybody's food off the table in the
Ah,
middle of the
yeah,
food
yeah,
court.
yeah.
So I was like, I'm about to go. So I just like I think I was walking with Mosey was the nice, cool, calm one. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
yeah, yeah,
walked with
yeah.
Mosey. He was just like, nah, it's cool. I can't be
Yeah.
mad at him. I'll
Mr. New
argue with
York.
Janeway. I'll argue with Butler, Kurt.
Yeah.
I'm arguing with all of them. I can't yell at Mosey. So they knew what to do. They let me work around Mosey. I think Pig was
Wow.
trying to make me laugh. I'm like, get your talk away from me. Like,
I'm
I don't want
surprised
nobody
Pig
talking to
wasn't
me.
drunk.
I don't know. I don't know.
Look,
I was mad at everybody at this point because I'm like, what the heck is wrong with y'all? So I was more, like you said, I was more disappointed with her. We was cool after, it wasn't no
yeah,
big thing. But I was like, in this moment, like, y'all need to just let me be mad.
yeah,
So when we
yeah,
got to
yeah, yeah.
final formation, we usually all together. I was way on the end by
Really?
myself,
Over there
way
pouting.
on the end. I was like, don't talk. I don't want to see y'all. If y'all
I
even
feel
look
you.
like y'all enjoying life, I'm pissed. Like, so I went to
Yeah.
the end. So he came over there and was like, why you way down here? And I'm like, bro, just, why can't y'all just leave me alone? Like, just leave me alone. So he could see that I was like really,
Who's this, Joshua?
and yeah,
Yeah,
he could see I was really upset. And I think Hurry or Butler, one of them two, the Doublemint twins. One of them
yeah,
asked me something or said something. They're like, "Oh, like she's really mad." Like, because normally I'm like, "I'm good, y'all," whatever. But I
yeah.
was like really, really upset, and I might have cussed at them or something. I don't know. And they were just like, "Oh, like there's a different side of her." I'm like, "Just leave me alone." Next thing I know, uh, red-faced Edwards walk over to me, and she's like teary-eyed, and she's like, "Well," I'm like, "I don't know what you're saying." But right now, and then I looked at her and I see her like, like she was crying, and I'm like, I got mad again because I'm like, why are you crying? I'm the one
What
that's
was she
mad. I was
crying
like, what
about?
is going on? Joshua yelled at her. He yelled at
Really?
her or something, and he was like the platoon dad. Okay. that and I don't know. He like yelled at her or something, and I was just like, I didn't even ask him. She's like, why would you tell him to come over here? And I guess he did it in front of everybody. So, and then I think he might have said that she was a bad friend or something. I think that's what really got to her. And I was like, I didn't tell that man to go say nothing to nobody. Like, y'all all need to just leave me alone. And I told her, I was like, look, bro, tomorrow we'll be cool. Tonight, I just need y'all to leave me alone. And I was like, I didn't tell
So
him to do nothing.
y'all was in the two man, right?
Mm, we weren't together. I was with Davis. She was with a different person.
Ah,
Because remember,
okay,
I went back
okay.
there first, and then
Yeah.
once a room or something opened, then she came back.
Then she came back.
But
Okay, okay.
I was back. Yeah, it was me and her. But I was like, I was so mad. Like, I was like, why would y'all do that? But yeah, that he yelled at her or something. I don't know. I wasn't over like when I say I was like I was by C1 and they was way at the like in front of the door. I was
Yeah,
way at the
because the
end.
platoon was huge.
It was huge then.
Yeah, yeah,
I was with the new soldiers. I'm like, what y'all doing?
yeah.
I was
The
by none
platoon
of
was
them.
huge.
And he says something, but I guess it was like she got flustered because I guess he did it in front of everybody. And it was like, what you do? Like, and he was like, I don't know if he cursed that. I don't know what he did. He thought he was everybody's daddy. So he was just doing that. Like, and then because he was like all the guys, like he was their PG and basic, they were just
Yeah,
used to him being in that
in charge.
mode, you know. So the women
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, who you talking to? Like, get
I
out of our
can
face.
I can see him. He did have that alpha mentality. Yeah, I can see
Oh
that.
my God.
I can see
All the
that.
time. And he'll be saying stuff in like for a minute. I'm like, you're not even the star. It's Butler. Like, it's not even you. Shut up. Like I
Was
used to
wait, was
argue all the
Butler
time.
the PG?
Yes, it was me and Butler.
That's
And
right.
he would
It
be saying
was.
stuff in the fort. I'm like, you're in the fort. Shut up.
It
Like,
was
you're not
Butler.
even the PG
That's right. That's right.
all
That's
the
right.
time.
That's right. That's
All the
crazy.
time. But one thing I will say though, and before I do, let's go ahead and just get into this last segment. This brings us to the end, but this is
Okay.
one of my favorite segments. It's called Poetically. I'm sorry, it's called Poetically Positive. I was about to say petty
Okay.
again. But I always like to end on a good note. You know, I like to leave people. We could talk about a lot of stuff. We can get people
Hmm.
all flustered with pet peeves, but I like to
Yeah.
always leave people on a positive note. So even though I was mad at my whole platoon, y'all, that was still family. And one thing that you taught us was starve alone, feast together.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about that because I think to this day we all still kind of live by that. So where did
Yeah.
that come from? And can you explain to my listeners what that means?
So, as you know, our platoon was actually I got it from a cartoon, Starve Alone.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. I forget the name of the cartoon, but no, 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 no. I take that back. I got it from. It was a poem.
Okay.
It was a poem. It's actually a poem. Um, because you gave me a poem.
We made a
Yeah,
creed,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
was
yeah,
based
yeah.
on just
Oh
that
well, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
one
You made me the
thing.
creed. Okay, so we were the wolf pack, and I'm a real big National Geographics nerd. Like I love watching uh like wolf packs and
Mhm.
lions and how they hunt, how they survive. And one of the things that I noticed was how the wolf pack uh protects themselves and how they protect each other. And like one of the things is if like say a wolf pack is in a formation, right? And they're out looking for food. They're going to the front wolf, everybody would think would be the leader, but that's
Mhm.
actually the
Right.
oldest. That's actually the oldest and the slowest, and they put that wolf up front so they won't leave them. And then the group after that is a strong group that can protect the front. The
Hmm.
group in the middle are the babies, and the group in the back are another strong group. And the
Hmm.
last wolf is always the alpha wolf. So um, they strategically move to protect each other. And the whole thing is starve alone and feast together. really is about taking care of each other. Um,
Hmm.
I can potentially eat a meal, catch a meal by myself, right? Possibly.
Right.
But I'm always going to eat if all of us hunt. I'm always going to eat. When one eats, we all eat.
Right.
And that was the mentality. And I don't even know if you remember, like I would always make my student leadership when the new classes would come in, I would be like, hey, your student leadership, y'all take care of, I would give y'all little groups. You take
Hmm.
care of this group. So their first weekend, that's your responsibility. And y'all show them what the standard is. So, and it just filtered down. And I really didn't have to keep preaching the same thing over and over and over
Right.
because when I showed y'all showed the next group, who showed the next group, who showed the next group. Whereas other platoons would always run into those issues, and we didn't have
Yeah,
those
they had to fend for
problems.
themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like I was very difficult or hard on y'all. Not necessarily hard, but I just expected more. Um, you know, because I was hard, but I always protected y'all. My goal was to
Right.
make sure that y'all were taken care of. So, like, I remember the time, uh, I want to
When we
say,
was all crying because we failed.
yeah, y'all failed the Sec Plus. I'm like, look, don't worry about that. Then y'all came back in. No, y'all had your EOC. And I want to say it was you. You was like, sorry, and I passed. I was like, okay. I mean, you're
Because
supposed
I
to
came
pass.
with a
That's
knee. I came from basic with a knee injury.
yeah, yeah. But I'm like, you're supposed to pass. You put in the work. I expect you to pass. You're not doing
Hmm.
anything that I don't expect you to do. You put in the work. You
Definitely
put in.
clowned me and Mosey for our scores, and we were just like, man, we gotta
Was
do better
that when y'all
next
first
time.
got there? When y'all first
We
got
was like,
there,
we passed because Mosey was injured too. And we was like, we passed, we
he
passed. And you was like,
was.
oh, that's what's up with your score. And we told you, and you was like, what? It's like, hey, this is passing. And like, not too much on us.
But
And
you
you was
know
like,
what?
Mosey, you a man. How many push-ups you did? And then you was like, Edwards, Tony, how many push-ups y'all did? And you was like, oh, nah. Like,
Wait,
you got to
wait.
do better.
Who was one of them was I want to say it was dark skinned female. Um
There was Whitehead, there was
Whitehead.
Reed. Okay.
Wasn't Whitehead, she was a PT stud, wasn't she?
Yeah, she did really good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. But I mean, my whole thing was it was really about making sure y'all took care of each other. But
Right.
I can tell that message filtered through of how like Josh Way and how you said y'all
Hmm.
were with each other. Y'all always took care of each other. Y'all always make sure each other was well, for the most part, y'all were good.
Hmm.
And that was that was my main goal, to make sure that y'all understood that I didn't care if don't tell me, oh yeah, I got 100 on, and matter of fact, I think I told y'all that when y'all took Sec Plus. Hey, look, I don't want to hear that, hey, I got it, but they're struggling, because it does no
Right.
good if I'm eating and my crew's not eating.
Right.
So if you got it, you need to make sure everybody else has it. And
Yep.
that was really my main goal and focus to push that through, because it was only two of us. And as you
Hmm.
knew, at one point we had like 100 people in the platoon. So
Yeah.
I couldn't police all of that. So
Right.
my goal was to make sure that um I like you said, I taught y'all how to hunt for yourself.
Yeah.
So y'all took care of the new ones when they came in, and they understood what I expected of them. And if they didn't, then They knew what was going to happen. So
Right.
that's
Nah, it
kind of where that
definitely
mentality came from.
it definitely stuck. I mean, we did do everything together. But it was like we would be tough on each other, but it was always tough love. And we will,
Hmm.
we will clown and everything like that too. But nobody from the outside can do that.
Oh,
Like
no, 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 no,
nobody,
no,
and
no,
it was just like second
no,
nature. It was like we
no.
didn't care who you was, because it's you always have the more popular crowd, and then you have the quiet. I don't care who it was. Okay, don't mess
Yeah,
with our smelly kid. That's our
yeah,
smelly kid. Like,
yeah.
like
Facts.
don't
100%
mess with him.
facts. Yep.
And then when it came to, like you said, like this person passing, but the rest of the class is failing, there was times when that did happen, and we were like, oh shoot. So then we were like, hey, we know what we doing. They don't. Can we stay in the day room for an extra hour? And the whole class would be in the day room studying.
Yeah.
And hey, me and Edwards made the study guide. Here, y'all take it and copy it. Everybody copy the study guide. Hey, we know how to do
Yeah.
this, so we gonna teach y'all how to do this part. I To this day, I only have Snapchat to this day because I don't know, we was on some type of lockdown or something. I don't remember, but we had to stay. We weren't allowed in the day room no more. It might have been the winter storm. I don't know. But we wasn't allowed in the day room because everybody was cutting up. So we had to stay on our floors in our rooms. And we didn't have like FaceTime and all these different things. So everybody got on
Yeah.
Snapchat and we were just sending video messages
Really?
because we was like, we missed them. We missed the guys. And they're like, we missed y'all. And we were stuck for like 2 or 3 days. So it could have been the ice storm. But
No, the
I was
ice
like, what is
storm,
this?
y'all was wilding during
That
the
was the
ice storm.
beginning, right? It was a
That
lot
was
happening.
that was the ice storm was yeah.
Everybody was hangry.
Yeah, because y'all ran through all the food, all the
Vending
snacks.
machine was
Yeah,
empty.
vending machine was empty.
We couldn't have snacks in our room technically, and then the ones
Yeah,
who did have snacks, those were gone. So
yeah,
everybody, it was turning
yeah,
into The Walking Dead slowly, but not. It was because of that. Like if we weren't able to see each other or talk to each other or be like, just what is the class doing? It's like we was going through withdrawals, and it wasn't
yeah.
even like a sexual thing. It's just that we were always together. We
Y'all
fed
was
off of each other.
y'all
We
took care of each
like
other.
those was my sisters and my
Yeah,
brothers, and that's what we did. Like when we off post, we like, is there a problem? We together.
yeah.
We
Y'all
might
took
not
care
have
of each
signed
other.
out together, but we was together
Yeah,
off post. When somebody had family issues going back home, we all was pitching in. And there was times where a couple of us pitched in, a couple coins to help somebody with their stuff at home. Like, and
that's
that's
what's up.
just what that was. But it was like to this day, like I mean, I feel like I was always that type of person. But even when I like left,
Hmm.
I realized I was always taking like new people under my wing, not even intentionally. Like it was just happening.
Yeah,
And when we would go out, when we deployed and like people was doing stuff and it was, or we'd be somewhere and it's different. I mean, it's still uniform, but
yeah,
you don't know it's like that. And they'll say stuff and I'm the quiet one, I'm pretty nice and cool until I'm not.
yeah,
So somebody would try to get smart with something. I'm like, not this one. And I would
yeah.
make them sit down, like just sit down. I'm like, not this one. You can cuss out everybody in here, not that one. No.
That's what's up. That's
Like
what's
not
up.
this one. You can say whatever you want. And I do that in real life. Like I be sitting here and we go somewhere to in college, anywhere, like somebody do something. I was just not these two. You could talk, you can say you can fight everybody in
Yeah,
here, but these two, not them.
yeah.
Just don't mess with them, please.
That's what's
Like,
up.
but
That's good stuff.
doing that for others, but also having that in return because the army ain't for everybody. And there was times where it was a
Yeah.
struggle. So me knowing that I had that and I had those, like you said, like I stood in front of the formation, but I had a whole formation behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Wasn't
I
nobody
knew
gonna
that
mess with
before
you.
I had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
chance
yeah.
to swing
Yeah,
I didn't have to question anybody. Like
yeah.
at least with my inner circle, I didn't have to question anybody. They were going to swing. And then even some of the ones that I was like, they probably still would have swung.
Hey,
Maybe not first, but
yeah.
they would have still done that. And I do feel like because we had such a close bond, some of the, outside looking in, some of them, you could tell they were a little envious, but they like respected it,
Mm-hmm.
especially when people were, we on the basketball court in our
Yeah.
mass formation. And one thing that we would do, again, we were the wolf pack. So whenever Sergeant Ross would step foot
Yeah.
on the basketball court. The whole, I don't care what we at,
Yeah.
parade, rest, attention,
Yeah.
we howling, okay?
Yeah.
And it was a respect
Hazley.
thing. And I think we had to explain it to, it was one of the new platoon sergeants that was coming in for a different one of the other platoons. And they were like,
Yeah.
y'all are being disrespectful. And we had to explain it to him. It was like, look,
Nah,
it's
that yeah,
nothing, it's
that
not
ain't about to
against you.
stop.
It's not
Yeah.
personal to you. Like, I get what you're saying. We're doing this. It's very low. He hear it. Everybody know what it is. Nobody's moving but you. He knows what it is. And I was like, but it's a sign of respect that we are giving him as our
Yeah.
platoon sergeant. It's not that we're giving it to him over y'all, but that's our platoon sergeant. When something
Yeah.
go crazy, y'all might be like, okay, let me, if it's too wild, but he's going to be the one that's like, that's my platoon. He's the
Yeah.
one that stands up for us. He's the one
Yeah.
that makes sure we are good at all time. It's a sign of respect. Like,
Yeah.
it's the simplest gesture, and it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
even though we facing here at attention, we see you here and we still respect you, whether you on this side of the basketball court, that side of the
Yeah.
basketball court. It's just a respect thing. And for the most part, if somebody was talking and we started, he'd be like, all right, at ease. Like he'll, almost quickly, so we're not doing it. But
Yeah.
sometimes I told you a little bit petty. Sometimes he'll let it
Yeah.
rock until he'll
Let let
take
it
his sweet time
let it let it
walking
roll.
across the
Let it
basketball
roll.
court.
Hayes, not mean, but he hated that. Like, not hated it, but
Yeah.
he was like, man, damn
He would
Wolfpack.
always
Man.
say something
Yeah, yeah,
smart.
yeah. Always said that was my dude, but he was like, man, he used to piss me off because we ain't have nothing.
And he used to pick on us too. And we like,
Yeah,
you see, you should have been our
yeah,
platoon.
hey,
You should have been our platoon star.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we did it to be petty too, because there was no need for us to do this during running formations. But somebody whack would always want to call cadence, and we're like, where's like we would start
yeah,
howling, and all of a sudden, Sergeant
yeah,
Ross would run up and be like, I got it. And next thing you
yeah,
know, we talk about who's got my yo-yo.
yeah,
Something
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. We had to get
But
that
you would get
yo-yo
the
going.
like we was like, we don't care. You can go to the other formation, call for them. But
Yeah, we
we
had to get
no,
that yo-yo going. Yeah, that was,
we
man,
wasn't.
that's probably one of the only things that out of my 22-year career, I'll tell anybody that the 3 years that I was an AIT Platoon Sergeant, because I learned so much from y'all. Like,
Hmm.
y'all may think that, you know, y'all were just getting lessons from me, but I learned so much from y'all as far as,
Hmm.
leadership and, because you can't treat everybody the same way. Some things
Right.
I could say to y'all, but I can't say to this person because I know y'all are going. Like I said, when I told you and Edwards, I'm disappointed in y'all.
Hmm.
Now, somebody else I might have said that to, and they wouldn't have cared, but I knew
Right.
y'all did. So y'all taught me, like, you know, I'm going to treat y'all all. I can't treat y'all the same, but I can be fair across the
Right.
board, you know. And like you said, you can don't mess with my soldiers, you know.
Right.
Leave my soul. Now, granted, I'm gonna be if they mess up, hey, you do what you got to do, but you're not about to disrespect them. So
Right.
it was just like a protection thing. So, you
Hmm.
know, uh,
But
yeah,
knowing that, I think that made us, because some people would just be like, oh, just smoke them and go about their day. But after, you would still come in and be like, all right, look, and we'll get like a lesson or a talk. And he's like, all right, do better. And that made us feel like, okay, he
yeah,
actually cares. He actually wants
oh
to
yeah,
see us. And it wasn't just you. I feel like everybody, even Sergeant Shirley, like, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
when we
yeah,
was
yeah.
all crying, that was the first time he was like, hey, he was like, knock that off. And then he was like, look, you're gonna go back, you're gonna test again, you're gonna be fine.
Hmm.
And he was like,
Yeah, I
and we were
remember
just like, oh, he cares.
y'all was sitting out on the I think that entire building itself, uh
Hmm.
that entire building was just different than C1, you know.
Yeah, it
Um
was.
it was different, you know. Um
Everybody was close. Like even if they weren't in our platoon, Like everybody was close. And
Yeah.
and we all, for the most part, we all looked out for each other. There was some people here and there that just
Yeah.
they didn't have the personality type, but that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, we still protected from outside,
Yeah.
outside couldn't
Yeah.
come in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it stood like Kassar and Smith, they didn't have like, the howl and all that, but she still had a respect for her
Oh
platoon,
yeah.
had a respect for her to see her be the only female and still hold it down.
Yeah.
Some of the
Facts.
guys would try her. Some of the guys would try her, but then her platoon would check them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
sometimes we would check them too, because like, who are you talking to? Sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
mama.
it
Yeah.
would it definitely like our your leadership actually reflects on us. So before we get out of here, I definitely want to give you your flowers because one thing I will say is no matter where we were, whether it's a schoolhouse, the church house, or even when we did our end of the year like field exercise. When we did that field exercise, we had those platoon sergeants cracking up.
Yeah.
Like they had so much fun with us. We was out doing a land navigation. We were howling. It was like, what is that? And
What are
we was
y'all
like, oh, you
doing?
don't know about the wolf pack? You gonna know before we leave. Like, so they was doing stuff.
That's what's up.
We were saying like some of your, as we call it, Ross isms, and then they started
Yeah.
adopting it. So it's like anywhere we went, you were there too because we took
Yeah.
on what you taught us to it, like anywhere.
Yeah.
We had the other people from the other they knew Charlie 447 because them
Yeah.
other companies they was like fighting each other. They barely talked. They wanted to be down with us and we was like, no. Like
Yeah.
they
I
barely
look.
talked. It was just boring. But
I
we had them laughing. They was laughing at me a lot. I made
y'all
a
were
shower.
definitely you you say what?
I made a shower. I made a shower. I was not my so all
That
the fun
sounds like you.
people, it absolutely. And they laughed at me. First they laughed at me because we go and we have to unpack our bag to show them that we have everything. And they did the females last because we needed extra stuff.
Hmm.
So it got to the feminine hygiene products and it was like bring a couple just in case. And I pulled out a whole box and it was like, really? And he got mad. I was like, what?
Really?
Like I'm a grown woman. We
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
And then he was like, did you really need the whole box? Because I had a big box and I was like, first of all, I'm the platoon sergeant. If any of them need one and they don't
Yeah.
have it, they're all
Then
going to come to me
come to
because they
you. Yeah.
always do it. None of
Yeah.
this stuff is for me. So I had like big bottles of everything. I was like, because everybody always needs something. Someone's gonna need something.
Yeah.
So
That sounds
then
just like you too.
but our tent, we had a bunch of like the tent was full, but it was only a few of us. So it was me and like five other girls, and then the one that was she was an MOST. It was a couple,
Uh-huh.
like two or three MOSTs in there. So the other side of the tent was just empty cots. So I was like, okay. I went to the corner, I put up three cots, and we had our little like not the poncho, but like the little liner. I
Yeah.
put that up over that. And then right outside of our tent was like the little hand washing station. So
Yeah.
I was like, let me borrow somebody's canteens. So I got their canteens. I filled up my camelback and I had four canteens. So I went behind that and I had my loofah and I had my stuff and I was poured it on there and I wet my body with
Really?
one canteen. I washed up and then I took the other two canteens and did that. I tried to use my camelback, but it was just too much work. And then I had one more canteen, and I used that to rinse out my loofah and all that, so it would be all stinky. And everybody, I came out, I put on baby powder because it was hot. Put on baby powder, and I always had like dryer sheets in my sleeping bag because it helps keep
Yeah.
bugs away. That's just something
Yeah.
I learned from being housekeeping. So I walk over, everybody musty and funky, and I walk over and I'm fresh, and I'm like, "Good night, y'all."
What
They're
you go
like,
back to? You
"You
went back
smell
to the
good."
barracks? You
It's
went
like
back
you
to the
smell
bees?
good. So the one MOST
Wow.
that was in our class, she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Here's your canteen." She was like, "Did you just shower?" I was like, "Yeah, girl, go." They thought I was just getting dressed back there. And I was like, "No." I was like, "Listen, I dug like a little hole in like a little runway so the water would run out the tent." So I was like, "I'll just pour
So
my
you was in the
canteen in that
tent.
in the tent."
Wow.
So when I came out, I kept filling the canteens. It's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing." So the next day, when we all, because it was only like six of us in ours, so everybody showered. And the
Really?
next day, everybody was like, "Why do y'all smell good?" Because everybody was musty. It was really hot. And I was like, we showered. And it was like, you what? And one of the cadre heard me. It
Oh
was like, we
man, that's
showered. And he was like,
crazy.
you left? I was like, how I'ma leave? I don't even know where I'm at. So he was like, this one thinks she a comedian. I was like, I'm just saying. So I was like, I showered. And I was like, I made a shower in our tent. And he was like, did y'all hear this? And it was like, what? And I was like, I'm for real. And then this was a day where the heat cap was really high, so we couldn't do anything. They made us sit in like a one of the cooling tents because it was
Yeah.
too hot. So I was like, I could show you. So him and like two other people, like I showed him and another guy, and it was like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I got this set up, and I put this here so it blocks everything. And then I put the canteen here, and I put a couple here. This right here is where we pour it, and it drains out. And they were just like,
Wow.
what in the world? So then I got in trouble because day two, it was a line outside of our tent of the girls with their towels. I'm like, bruh, like, why y'all not trying to be discreet about it? Like, and they was like, that's
Wow.
enough. I was like, oh my God. And I remember the guys was like, why do you smell good every night? I'm like, shut up. Stop. And then I had like the feminine
Wow.
wipes that smell good. So when I wasn't allowed to take a shower anymore,
Yeah.
I had the wipes that was like scented. So instead of regular baby wipes, it was scented. And I would just use that. And it was like, why do you smell good? And I was like, here, take these wipes because y'all stink. Take these wipes, wash with this tonight. The guys, and they were just like, ew, it's a feminine wipe. I'm like,
Hey,
do you want
look,
to smell good
hey,
or not?
look.
So
You
then
do what you
all of
got to do.
Wolfpack was smelling good outside, but the rest of them, they was stanky and gross. So the cadre was sitting with us because we didn't stink.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah, like we
crazy.
all of us shower. And I made sure that third platoon showered before everybody else.
That's good
I was
stuff.
like, no. So Edwards, the one girl, I think what was her name? She was a redhead girl. I let her shower. She was like, oh no, so girl, get in here and shower. The MOST, Whitehead, Jones. I think maybe like three
Wow.
of them didn't get to shower because we got in trouble, but yeah,
Wow.
definitely made a shower. And like I said, when we left, they don't know what you look like, but they knew your name and they knew how to call you. They knew your mannerisms, like all of that,
Wow.
because we were there for all of 4 days. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
carries. And I know a lot of us are still doing this. I know a lot of them are staff sergeants. Some of them are sergeant first class right now. Some
Yeah.
of them went officer, and they still use the things that we learned from you. Not even, I mean, I use it in my career. I'm not even in the military anymore. So your
Yeah.
leadership definitely went a lot further than just us making it through AIT. So I just wanted to
Well,
give you your flowers. I feel like we always do it anyway, and
I appreciate
especially
that.
when we did the Alpha Wolf toast all across Facebook
Yeah,
when you
that
retired.
was man, that was cool. That was cool. That almost brought tears to my eyes. That was pretty cool.
We're gonna get you to cry one day. Maybe
That
not
was pretty
today,
cool. That was
but
pretty
nah,
cool.
it definitely is something that like everything we learned from you, just the relationship and bond that we have from you, the leadership, it definitely stuck with all of us. And I'm not even just talking about my class because I
Yeah,
mean, when I did that little toast and I was just like reaching out to random people that I seen comment or congratulate you and drop a story. I'm like, oh, you was in AIT with him too? Hey, would you do? It was like, it was no question. I didn't have to bribe nobody. I didn't have to explain why we were doing it. They were just like, when? What do you want me to do? It was just, that's it. And
yeah,
I was like, this is easy. Like,
yeah.
this
I
is
look,
easy. So
I
that's why it was so successful because of who you are. So I just wanted to give you your flowers.
well, I appreciate that. Like the I still remember you brought the book back. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh
Wow, yeah,
yeah. Cause we was some crybabies. We felt like we was leaving our parents. It was like you
that
was
was
leaving to go to basic training all over again when we left. It's like
yeah,
we was leaving our parents. We had to do something.
I really appreciate that. Like, and it, if you asked one time, you was like, which is the best class? I was like, I had I had one other class that was, and
Yeah,
this
I
was
think you
my
said it was like two. It was us and somebody else.
job, my very, very last class that I had. And the reason, I mean, y'all were who y'all were, but
Hmm.
with them, they all got their they weren't really they weren't really at y'all's level. Like y'all had a
Hmm.
Joshua. Y'all had some dogs.
Right.
Y'all had some dogs. Like
Right.
PT, y'all had some bona fide soldiers. This group wasn't like that.
Right.
But I told them, I said, if y'all listen to what I tell you, y'all'll be good. And
Yeah.
not one of them failed. Not one of them. Every single one of them was a first time going to EOC. Like, and they was coming with. I'm looking at, you know how like look at the PT scores first day, like so.
Yeah. So they
I
they had a
looked at
good comeback story.
they they just did every. They was like that kid that wasn't physically gifted,
Right.
but they just worked hard.
They
So,
worked. Right.
um, and I never really had, well, I ain't gonna say I didn't have problems out of y'all, but y'all weren't, other than like the movie incident.
There was some problems. We ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
was some
yeah.
problems that carried over because
I
home and
didn't
I was
know.
getting calls and I'm like, I'm not
I
there,
didn't know.
y'all.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that was,
I was getting calls from everybody. I'm like, what you mean?
yeah.
I'm not even
Look,
there.
I don't know what happened, but once that, it was like they just hit a brick wall and just
Yeah,
drifted
once
up.
that and that's again that goes back to once everybody started to separate and
Yeah,
everybody started going their separate ways, it was like
yeah,
chaos. Like everything,
yeah,
and you could tell like everybody's missing everybody. It was just different, but it was just like I said, I was home and I was getting calls. I'm like, y'all need to buck up. Like
yeah,
you just did 5 months, 8 months with air like basic two. 8 months for what? Like get it together. You gonna be all right. We can talk, we can call, we can text.
yeah.
Y'all need to get it together. I can't be the fix. I was the fixer.
Look,
I was like, I can't be the fixer. Like
you was
I'm
mama.
home.
You was mama.
I was like, y'all need to get it together. People calling
Yeah,
me crying. I'm like, what happened now? Like
yeah.
it was crazy,
You
but
was mama. That's
everybody's
what's up.
everybody's doing great now.
Yeah,
I mean, so there have been ups and downs. People, life be life, and especially for the people who ran away from something,
right. Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
went
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's always hard. But
yeah,
I feel like most of them know like they can still call because all of us still talk. I mean, I
yeah.
don't talk to everybody, but I talk to someone who talks to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
so we
yeah,
all still talk. We all know what's going on with babies and marriages and,
yeah,
catch each other up or whatever. So it definitely was like a lasting impression. So
yeah,
again, I don't think we would have had that same bond if you weren't our platoon sergeant.
yeah. So earlier I said it's not anything that I didn't, there's nothing that I missed about the Army. I
Mm-hmm.
take that back because I miss y'all. That's
Right.
the
The people.
only, yeah. Well, no, no, not
Some.
all the people.
Some.
Not all of the people. I
Some people.
miss, I miss that those 3 years were the best 3 years of my military career. That's the
Yeah,
only thing that I can say I missed is that.
I
Everything
can agree with
else,
that.
I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
That
Military,
was the most fun I had.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
the
yeah,
most fun I had while I was in AIT for sure.
yeah,
Even over deployment, like that was the most fun that I've had. That was the most like I felt I was like a part of something, that
yeah.
was bigger than me. Because some people join the military because they want to be a part of something that's bigger than
Hmm.
them. That was like, mm, I want to say it was the only time, but it might not have been the only time. Definitely top, definitely the number one time that I felt like I was bigger than something, and we weren't even we weren't even
Yeah.
doing anything. But that's when you realize like it was bigger
It was,
than
it
you.
was,
You know,
it was family. It was a family.
it
Yeah,
was, it
yeah.
definitely was.
It
So
was a family. So
yeah, we gonna have to get
thank you.
it. We gonna have to get together
Yeah,
again. We've been
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do
yeah,
this
yeah.
reunion as a whole.
So,
We gonna get it
hey,
together one time.
let me know. Let me know. I'm still here.
We
Me,
gonna.
Smith. It's a few of us that's
I
still
know.
here. So
Let's
yeah,
try.
just
Let's try this year. I don't know when, but let's try
I'm
for
with it.
something this year
I'm
for
with it.
sure.
I'm
I'll
with it.
definitely
I'm
come
with it.
back. Um, We'll talk about that offline because y'all not about to hold us to anything that's out here if something go wrong. But now, normally when I get off, I ask you to tell the people where they can find you, because I have a lot of influencers that I have on here. But you can tell
Hmm.
the people where they can find you. But if you don't want them to find you, you can tell them what you have going on. I know that your fraternity does a lot of events. I know you
Yep.
are an advocate for autism as well.
Hmm.
So if you anything you want to plug or anything, feel free to
Um,
do that now.
I mean, I'm, Andre Ross. I'm on social media. Like you said, like I just did some steps for, it's Autism Month. So with
Hmm.
our fraternity, we do typically everybody does a mile, but obviously I did more. Um, and just active with my fraternity, giving back. Um, like
Hmm.
Friday, we're doing a breast cancer, not breast cancer. It's actually all cancers, but the person is
Hmm.
sponsoring is breast cancer. So, just trying to give back, be positive, and
And where is this? Is this
I'm
in
still in the Augusta, Georgia area.
Augusta?
Yeah, well, I'm in Columbia County, but yeah, still in the Augusta, Georgia area.
But the events are usually like in the Augusta area.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, Augusta, Georgia area, and we're just, man, I'm enjoying, just like you, I'm enjoying this retirement
Right,
life.
right.
You're in
Well, you
Columbia, right?
definitely deserve it. Huh?
You're in, you're in Columbus.
I'm by Benning. I work on Benning, Fort Benning.
Man, I need to get out there. I
Yeah.
I need to get out there to come see you, cause our,
Well, I'll definitely be coming back that way at some point for
yeah,
sure. So I will, as always, I'm definitely going to let everybody up there know that I'm coming. When I do come up there, it's going to be a
please
family
do.
affair as usual.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I just want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
I definitely had to get you in a podcast. You always support everything that I do. Um, but I appreciate it. Like when you was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." Like I
Yes,
got to get you
ma'am.
on the podcast. I know you do a lot, but you've done a lot, but you also mean a lot to a lot of people. So I know
Well,
they just
thank you.
wanted to listen. Hopefully they listen because we still fairly new, but
Yeah,
hopefully they do listen and gain something from this. I just wanted to share what you have taught me to my listeners because I know a lot of things that you say and a lot of the positivity I learned from you, I still, give to them. But hopefully they got something out of this as well. So a couple
hopefully.
laughs, a couple lessons,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
definitely something positive. So
Reminiscing.
y'all, that was all we have for the podcast today. Make sure you guys follow us, Poetically Petty Pod, on Instagram. Y'all know y'all can find me That's So Juicy on all platforms. But this has been another episode of the Poetically Petty podcast, you guys, and I'll see you guys next
Yeah.
time. Peace.
Poetically petty, that's so juicy. That's her.